Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. Hello, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to everyone. Hope everything is okay with you.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm good. I'm just about to drive back to Bologna because I'm living in Sicily. Actually, I lived in Sicily for the last 4 months at the seaside. Now time to go back to studio and work again.
Yeah.
I mean, I never stopped and never quit working during the last 4 months, but with a better structure in my home studio right now, but in a better studio, so everything is about to come back to the normal life.
Okay. And
what about you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well.
I can see a shade. So is a span right behind you?
A span?
It's a spectrum analyzer.
Yeah.
It's a spectrum
It's Fox
analyzer.
Tango span. Yeah, I use it all the time. It's in my and we have a VU meter from Waves next to it.
Yeah.
So that I can check the
as well.
Kick and bass balance.
Yeah.
But you know, you just use it as a reference, and then you do whatever you want with it anyway. So
yeah.
So the topic of the day.
Big fan of them as well. Cool. Topic of the day. Let's go.
So I think that many people are interested to know about how we deal with family in general as electronic musicians, as touring musicians, when there is, of course, a tour running. Just unlike now, because now is a very
it's kind of weird,
unusual situation. We have to adapt to it.
It is.
But
yes,
a lot of people came up to me and asked me how I deal with family in general. And I wanted,
nice question, nice topic.
Yeah, and I want to know about you, man. Really, because
how I deal with family. Yeah, it's a nice situation because sometimes many people see DJs or musician touring as a kind of shattered family. So wherever I'm okay with it. First of all, I think I'm a family guy. A family guy, actually. So I do take care of my family when I'm not, of course, when I'm not touring, when I'm out. And I just want to be a family guy. I mean, I really care about them because it's one of my primary tasks, my primary topic of my everyday life. So I try to be a kind of normal father. I usually take my kids out of the school. I take care of them in every single step of their life. I just want to be present. So there is really important. You know what I mean? So and I really enjoy being with them. I mean, I think I'm learning a lot from them, which is a kind of strange thing, but it's really true. At least for me, it's really, you know, when you have kids, you gotta jump back to your young life, and it was just founding me again. It was really good, and it's really helpful to me as an artist as well, because I think through their eyes, or through my family eyes, I see many details that I was missing during the last times.
Yeah.
So it's a really good thing to me, actually.
Yeah.
How to manage with family? I mean, they know very well. I mean, with kids, they know very well what I'm doing. That making music or being a musician is a normal profession, is a normal job, and I treat it as a normal job. I mean, that is kind of weird sometimes when I talk to the teachers. And they say, "What's your job? How do you manage it?" So I need to convince them that my job is kind of an ordinary one and a normal. And they always ask me, "Okay, by the way, what is your normal job?" That's my normal job. That's my real job. Making music or playing in a studio, playing outside, or playing for people around the globe is a kind of normal in 2020. I'm not talking about 70s or 80s. So I think that the first thing is they see my kids, see my job as I see my job. You know what I mean? I consider it as a normal job, and of course they do the same. So it's a kind of normal thing, an ordinary thing, just like being a doctor or working in a bank. So nothing more, nothing less.
Exactly.
It's normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I totally
What
agree
about
with
you?
you.
Yeah. What about your family? How do they treat it?
I'm so happy now with everything we've been through that we found
Cool.
this right balance between work and kids, and
Cool.
I see myself being a lot more present for their, let's say, their homework, for example, or stuff like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
it's really cool. But I tend to be a very present parent, to be in general.
Cool.
So
We can feel it. We can feel it. Seeing your Facebook
I never
or
leave
your
them
social
at,
media.
yeah, well,
Yeah. So that's a
I
good
never
thing.
leave them at, after school or something, and up to 5 or 6 p.m. I never do that. I pick them up at 3 p.m. whenever I can, and we just come back home. We take care of the homework, because it's a necessity, especially after what happened recently. They have
Definitely.
they have a lot to do, a lot of homework. To get back to a normal learning
Totally
curve,
agree with you.
because
Yeah, agree with you.
there's been a gap in their education on that point, and we as
definitely.
parents have to make ourselves available. So good thing that all the parents from the school know me, but they don't necessarily know what I do. But my
Okay.
kids' schoolmates know what I do.
Okay.
Much more than
Same for
their
me.
parents do. Because
Same for me.
I have to tell you that thing. A few years ago, I went to school out of the blue. Well, I asked before, but for the kids, I went out of the blue to one of my kids. She was still in kindergarten. So I went there with a keyboard, my laptop, my speakers, and I
No
showed
way.
them what I was doing, and I made them a little introduction to music creation and everything, and not DJing, because I believe it's not the right thing to do with kids under a certain age. But
Yeah, probably they will understand later. Definitely, it's not that easy.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed the experience of sharing my creative process and everything, and all the instruments we can use, and all. And the teacher was just in awe. She was like, "Wow, this is amazing. We should do this every single year." And I was like, "Yeah, actually, that's a good call." And I did like 5-6 years ago now, so it never happened again. I wish it could.
Oh, probably it's time to go back right now.
Yeah.
Actually, when you can. Yeah.
That would be
It should be
awesome.
something to. Exactly. I think this should be something to be proud of. I mean, and at the same time, you're teaching something that many people don't know, and many people live with prejudice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you go around and play some music, you're just like a kind of devil or a degenerate. You know what I mean? So many people actually see this professional like something which is not normal or ordinary or acceptable, socially talking. You know what I mean? By the society,
absolutely.
actually. And this is not true anymore. I mean, you can work in a bank and see a devastated man or a bad man at all, and at the same time, you can be a rock star and be a perfect person. You know, you never know. I mean, I strongly believe that. You know what I mean? So it's not our job to make a better or a worse person. Yeah.
No, the coolest part is actually the creation, not who you are, what you represent, how many fans you have, but the cool part for kids is showing them how to create stuff. I mean, when I see a baker or someone doing pastries, just going to school to show them this incredible process, I'm like, I want to attend, because I have so many fond memories of those moments when I was 7-8 years old, and I had a schoolmate of mine. She had a dad who was probably one of the best bakers in my city, and I was like,
wow.
ouch, this guy was
Yeah, from my personal point of view, I see the same thing. It's like exactly the same thing because it's a kind of process of creation, which is absolutely the same. You're creating something out of the blue, which is unbelievable to me. It's just like magic, you know. So it doesn't make any difference between them.
Yeah.
So good thing.
So
Definitely. I just want to go back now to school and teach them how to do it. I'd love to. Maybe I will propose that to the teachers.
You know what? instead of trying to sell our skills to people online for music production and everything, we should go
to school
to kids, 6-7 years old, and just teach them how to do it properly, because
that's a radical way to make them understand that music creation is so good and it could be so useful for many people who still believes in music.
Maybe that might be the right thing to do if we want to show them that it's not about being rich and famous, but just about doing the right thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. I mean,
Well, this is what I wanted to show them. So yeah, cool experience, and this is how we deal with family in general. It's a pretty straightforward thing. But I remember having long flights and all this stuff we have to deal with when we have these long flights overseas and stuff.
I hate
You've been through
exactly.
that, yeah. It's not that we hate going overseas and stuff.
Yeah.
What about you? I mean, I guess it's
same,
a great experience.
Oh gosh, long flights. I never been a big fan of long flights, but it's a kind of part of the game. I was telling to a friend of mine before, are you missing going or flying to San Francisco for 11 or 13 hours flight? Unfortunately, I gotta say, not at all. I really miss going to San Francisco or flying to San Francisco, but not what it takes to. Anyway, we'll see.
And I remember a story about myself when I went to New York once a few years ago. I remember playing Friday, Saturday, sleeping like a couple of hours in between, each night, and then listen to this, going back straight to Brussels with a flight. I think it was a direct flight to Brussels, thank God. And I had to go straight to school with my luggage and everything. I hadn't slept for hours because I cannot sleep on flights. And that's the true family life of a DJ after all. And you have only a few days left to actually sleep, make music, promote yourself, and go back. It's just crazy to think about it.
I can understand. I can feel it. Anyway. Sometimes I landed from I don't know what was it. Yeah, maybe from LA. Just landed and went to school to take my kids as well. So I can still remember. Definitely. And actually, before I stopped to the toy center, a toy store, just to buy something for them, because I didn't have any time to stop in LA or in any airport shops to get something for them. So anyway,
and we are only talking about the kids in this equation, not even about our respective partners who have to deal with all of this.
There is a huge part of that, but we won't bore with that. So it's fine anyway.
If you see a lot of DJs whose relationships don't last, you know why. It's very hard to deal with. So that's it for this episode.
Exactly.
I love talking about this, and but we'll see each other again in a few days. Next,
of course, always
in the next episode, on your favorite place, same time probably, and make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, the blue thumb, and and please leave us comments and share your family stories. We love them.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time, Guy.
See you next week. Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you, man. Thanks.